So they have a lot of marketing, network marketing experience, and they've got some great friends at Rodan and Field. So it's kind of their background. I've met them. I know them. I talk to them on a weekly basis. They're wonderful people. So anyways, ZYIA is a premium activewear brand. So when we think of when I explain to people kind of what ZYIA is, and we talk about the quality and what it looks like, I always compare it to like a Lululemon, Athleta. Our quality's amazing, but we're able to put it into the marketplace at a better price point because we're alleviating so much of the overhead that those stores have because we don't have brick and mortar stores. We're not paying for storefront signage or employees or the brick and mortar footprint that a lot of those organizations have. So we're able to bring these designs to the designer, get them manufactured. We have a couple manufacturing facilities, and then we bring them to the warehouse. We have a warehouse in Utah and recently just opened up our warehouse in Whistler. And then it goes directly to customers' homes. So as a rep, and I'll get into this in a little bit, some of those details, but we don't carry any inventory, which is phenomenal. Things are shipped, again, directly from the warehouse to the consumer. So that's a little bit about ZYIA. Let me get back and kind of share my story just so you guys know a little bit about who I am and what my journey has looked like. So I joined in March of last year, so I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary with the company. Prior to this, I was actually working in corporate America as a sales executive at a marketing firm. I loved my job very much. I got to travel a lot. I was in New York City and Southern California often. My husband and I became pregnant, so we had our son last January. He just turned 1. And my plan was to find a really great daycare, go back to work because I was very passionate about my job. I was making 6 figures at the time. And then during maternity leave, I realized that with traveling 1 week out of the month, every month of the year, I just couldn't do it. So very unexpectedly, I had a change of heart. We changed our plans. I decided that I couldn't be gone that much. And so I resigned. And then I came home and I was like, oh my gosh, now what did I just do? So my friend at the time, her name is Ellie. You guys will see her around often. She joined a couple months prior to myself, and she lives in Florida. So I called her and I was like, hey, I don't really do the network marketing thing. It's not my style, but tell me a little bit about what you're doing. And quite frankly, I have a goal right now just to start making our mortgage each month. And again, I don't really think this is my thing. So I don't care about a lot of the details. Shoot me straight. Like, is this legitimate? Is the company legitimate? Are the clothes good? And can you really make money? And she's like, yep. At the time, she's like, I made $1,800 this month. She's now making 10 to 15 times that. She actually has the highest rank in the organization. She's wonderful. You guys will all meet her. And so I was like, great, sign me up. And so I started, and that was in March of last year. And 3 of the main reasons I joined was because I understood that the company was so young. At that time, we were just a year old in the United States. And so the business side of me conceptually kind of understood that this is a really young company, and the first 5 years of a network marketing company's lifespan are really the fastest. That's where there's going to be this rapid phase momentum growth. So that part was attractive to me. When I joined, there was only a couple of reps in the state of Wisconsin. And the second reason, I knew we didn't have to carry inventory, and I didn't want to start something where it was going to take all of my time in terms of ordering inventory, reselling, having to discount stuff that was sitting at my home. I just wasn't interested in that. So I thought it was really great that as a rep, you just get a website and people can go there, they can shop, it ships right to their house, and it's over. Like, super easy. I really liked that part of it. And then there was and there still isn't, there's no subscription. So it wasn't like I was managing this for people, and it's a tangible product. There isn't a lot of emotion tied to it, and we release new products every Wednesday. So I really enjoyed the fact that if people liked the leggings that we released on Wednesday, if they liked them, they could buy them. I would post them in my VIP shopping page on Facebook, and if they didn't, they could keep scrolling. But there wasn't anything emotionally tied to it, and I really liked that it was really great quality workout clothes, and if you like it, cool, and if you don't, no big deal. So those are the 3 main reasons that I joined. since then, it's been a very, very interesting ride. I've been fortunate. I've been consistent in my daily actions, and have seen a lot of success. And so when I knew that we were launching in Canada, I started when our company was a year old. I was like, I can't imagine what will happen for people who start when we just launched in Canada, and we just launched on January 21st. So that's a little bit about my background. That's kind of how I started. And again, I actually met Shala through Instagram. We developed a relationship, and then she saw the opportunity and decided to jump in. So that's a little bit about my background. And now I'm home actually full time, and I kind of do this gig during my son's nap times. I work when it's convenient. I work sometimes, if he goes to bed at night, I'll do a couple of things, but really it's been very complimentary just to my lifestyle and my schedule. So we have a lot of people who work full time. We have a lot of people who are stay-at-home moms. It's really all across the board. So that part's it's attractive because this industry can provide people $200 extra a month if that's something that they want, $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. So really the gamut is wide open of you can kind of decide your why, like why do you want to do this? What's your purpose for being here? And then what do you want to do with it each month? And we can back in from a number standpoint. If you're like, hey, this is I want to make $1,000 a month. We can easily back in and say, all right, this is what that's going to look like. So if you guys have that, if you're interested in knowing what that might look like, reach out to your sponsor, reach out to me, and we can kind of back that in and totally make it happen. So that's a little bit about the company itself. So it's in terms of actually how does it work and how do we get ZYIA into the world, this whole opportunity is about selling and sharing. So there's two things. The first one is selling and sharing the product. I think there's 4 ways. And again, there's a lot of different ways to do things, but from my experience, there's been 4 main ways that I've decided selling the product has worked best. And the first is through pop-up shops. And I do most of my pop-up shops via Facebook because I like that I don't actually have to put everything in my car and go places. And by everything, I basically mean my starter kit. I don't own a lot of inventory. I just have what came in my starter kit and then some clothes that I loved and I've decided to buy over the last year, but it's not much. I really want to run this like a business. So I try not to take everything I earn and go buy all these clothes for myself. But the first, again, is through Facebook events. So I'll create a private group on Facebook and people will host for me, right? So the incentive for hosting is that as the parties hit a certain dollar amount, the hostess is going to get items half off and credits towards their purchase. And I can put a graphic in here or send you guys a graphic after of exactly what that looks like. So people are going to host events for you. You create a private group on Facebook. Your hostess is going to invite people who are interested or people they think might be interested. And I usually run my pop-up shops over a 2 to 3 day period. In the beginning, I was doing them for 5 to 6 days, and I just realized that was just too long. It was too much for me. I like the shorter ones better. So over a period of 2 to 3 days, I'm just highlighting some product, doing a couple live videos of me actually wearing the stuff. And then people just click on the link and they purchase, they online shop like they usually would. They place their order, it ships directly from their warehouse and goes right to their home. So that's the first way. The second way is events. There are a lot of people who enjoy in-home events. They get wine, they get hors d'oeuvres, they go to people's homes, they spend a couple hours with their girlfriends. Those events are usually very successful because people can see the clothes, they can feel them, they can try them on. People have a lot of events at gyms, at yoga studios, at mommy and me classes. So there's really endless options. You can be as creative as you want with it. But that would be the second way. The third way is just my repeat customers. So when I started, I had my launch party on Facebook. So again, I created that private group. I invited people who were interested. I highlighted the clothes. And then at the end of it, I said, hey, this group, I'm actually going to keep this open because my company every single Wednesday releases new products. So if you guys want to see what those products are, if you want to know about promotions, if you just want to stay up to date on what's going on within my business, please feel free to stay in this group. So everybody stayed there. So then I had this captive audience of people who already supported me, people who already love the ZYIA brand, and they're in this group. So every Wednesday they get to see the new releases. and it's not on my public page. So I'm not plastering this stuff all over Facebook. I'm not bombarding people. I'm not spamming them. It's in this private group where they want to be, and they want to see it. So that's where a lot of my repeat sales come from. People will see our striped light and tight leggings that come out, and when I post it on Wednesday, if people like it, they purchase it. So that's the third way that has been very, very beneficial. And then the fourth way is simply wearing the clothes. So because they're so unique and they're such high quality, a lot of people ask me about what I'm wearing when I'm out and about. So I treat my clothes like my employees. I just make them work for me. If I'm out running errands, if I'm out with James at a class, my son, I'm wearing ZYIA all the time because A, I love it. So why wouldn't I? And I live in leggings and sports bras, especially after nursing. But I have it on all the time, so people are constantly asking. So I treat the clothes like my employees. So those are really the ways that I choose to sell. The other part of this business, the other component would be building a team and just sharing the opportunity, growing a team, helping and mentoring and developing other people within this opportunity. So some people do this just to personally sell, and that's wonderful. You can really make a significant income selling these clothes and just basically being a walking salesperson for the brand. If you want to do something where there's more residual income over time, most people decide to grow a team or mentor a team. So that looks kind of the same, a little bit different. Most of the people who are on my team have either been in my Facebook groups, have tried the product, have loved it, have seen me do it for a couple months and have said, hey, tell me what you're doing. Like, you're actually making money selling awesome activewear. Like, how do I do this? Can I do this? So these people, right, they enroll just like a lot of you guys did, learn a little bit about the business, and they also sell. So part of that is people on your team may come to you for questions. You're going to mentor them a little bit. So part of you taking your time to do that, you're going to be compensated by also making a percentage of what your team sells. So there's those two components really of how you can run the business. I love mentoring. I think it's wonderful. This opportunity for me has been so impactful that I decided I wanted to share it with other people as well. So I decided to start and grow a team. So those are the ways that I have found selling and sharing works best. The next portion that I want to talk about is the different ways to earn income. Excuse me. So there's a lot of different ways to earn money. But again, it kind of breaks down into 4 different ways to earn. So like I had previously talked about, when you're selling personally, everything you sell, you make 20% on. You make 20% commission on everything you sell at retail value. So if somebody's like, oh my gosh, I love those black pocket light and tights, you're like, oh great, here's my website. They go on, they buy them, it ships to their house, you make commission on it, right? You're an extension of the company and you're getting paid when that happens. So you make 20% on what you sell. When you sell $1,000 a month, once you hit that $1,000 a month, the company's going to add an additional 8% commission onto your paychecks. So my goal is always to do that, because who doesn't want an extra 8%? So when you hit that $1,000 in sales, that 8% is being tacked onto your paycheck. So now you're making 28% of everything you sell at retail volume. If you sell $1,000, you're making $280. So that's the first way, is your personal sales. The second way that you earn income is making a percentage off of what your team sells. So there's different ranks. It's called rank advancing within the company. As you grow, as you build a team, there's different ways that you can advance within the organization. As that happens, your commissions are going to increase as well. For example, as a junior rep, which is really the first way to rank advance within the company, and we can do a separate call on that if you guys want. We can go through all of the different rank advancements and how to do it. I always encourage people to take a peek and say, hey, I want to do this by this month. That's awesome. Let's absolutely back into how that can happen and how that can be done. And again, because it's so new in Canada, it's wild how fast that can happen. But anyways, the second way to earn is to earn a percentage on what your team sells. So as a junior rep, which is that first rank, you're earning 5% on what your team sells, on 75% of it. So in your personal sales, you're making that 20 or 28% commission on 100% of the retail value. With your team, you're making a percentage on 75% of their entire sales. That's really where over time that residual income is going to come into play. My paycheck, my income, the income from my team, that revenue stream each month is a lot higher than my personal sales because I have developed and mentored a team and it has grown to be significant. And that is absolutely 100% doable for everybody here. So that's the second way. The third way is bonuses. As you advance within the organization, there's bonuses to be made, anywhere from $50 for the first bonus up to $10,000 to $15,000 as people continue on to the higher ranks in the organization. So bonuses would be the third way. And then the fourth way is incentives and promotions. So one thing that ZYIA does very well is incentivize and reward people for certain levels of activity or certain goals each month. Since I've started, so for example, we have a promotion going on right now that's for a trip to Punta Cana in October, which is very, very doable for anybody who's in the business right now. Since I've started, there's been, which I'm totally lame, I had just had a baby, so I said no to both of these trips. But I earned a all-inclusive cruise in the Bahamas, a $500 bonus, an all-inclusive trip to Cancun this past January, a Apple smartwatch, which is on its way in the mail, and customized Nike shoes. All of that sounds great. It is. All of that is wonderful. It's wonderful. But I don't say that to be like, oh my gosh, look at all these things I've earned. I just say that because ZYIA really does take a sincere approach to rewarding its representatives. So those kind of promotions are happening all the time. Again, we just launched one the beginning of this month, and it's a 3-month promotion to earn a trip to Cancun in October. And there will be more of those as the year goes on. The other thing they do is there's a set amount of dollars that gets paid out to the reps each month. If that maximum doesn't get hit, they just tack it on to people's checks. For example, in December, they added a 15% bonus to everybody's check. And again, I know the owners, they're wonderful people. They come from a wonderful place, and that's just something that they decide to do. They decide to reinvest it into their people who are out, walking and talking and actually exposing the ZYIA brand. So those are the 4 ways to earn commission. I know that's a ton of information. So if you guys have questions, you can put them in the comments or just go ahead and raise your hand or unmute yourself and ask them. I just want to make sure that everybody is fully informed with any questions that they have. But does that make sense so far? Sort of? Okay, good. So those are the 4 ways to sell, the 4 ways to earn income. And then there's 3 kind of magical numbers that I like to talk about when people are either first in the business or they're considering enrolling. One thing that a lot of people ask about is minimums. So we don't necessarily have minimums, but there are, again, these 3 numbers. So the first one is $200. So in order to qualify for your commissions or commissions from your team, you do have to sell $200 a month. The reason they put that in place is so that people don't go grow these huge teams and never sell anything and just make income. You do have to sell $200 in order to earn commissions. And that's something that's a number that I'm like a freak about. So I check that all the time in my entire downline. If people are close, if they're at like 190, I call them the night before the end of the month and I'm like, hey, you spend another $20, you qualify for commissions. So that's the first number. The second number is $600. The only minimum our company has is there's a $15 website fee each month. However, it's waived the first 2 months because people are starting their business. And when you sell $600 each month, that fee is waived. So anybody who's a little bit active is pretty much always going to be hitting that $600 minimum and avoiding that $15 website fee. I've never paid it. And again, I've been here for almost a year. So that's the second number. And the third, which I already mentioned, is that $1,000. So you earn 20% commission on everything that you sell. And when you sell $1,000 in a month, they're going to tack on an additional 8%. So you're making 28% commission. And again, that's a pretty good goal for anybody who wants to make this business impactful, is to sell that $1,000 each month as a minimum. Just make sure you're getting that 8% added onto your check. So those are the three numbers. Outside of that, there's nothing in terms of minimums. Worst case scenario, if you have something going on or if something comes up in your family and you need to take a month off and it's after the first 2 months, worst case scenario, you have that $15 website fee. In order to maintain your status as a rep, you have to sell $300 over a 6-month period, which is $50 a month on average. Again, if you go 6 months without selling $300, it probably means that you're not active in the business. So I actually usually don't even mention that one, but I do want to be very transparent with all the information. So those are really the main important numbers. And the last thing that I'll leave you guys with before we open this up for questions is just that when a company is this small, or when it's this brand new, I don't know, how many of you guys have experience within network marketing? Okay, so quite a few of you guys. Okay, some of you do, some of you don't. So if you do, you probably understand the impact of joining a company really within its infancy stages, because it is so brand new, you guys are going to be on the front lines in Canada exposing this brand. So everybody who decides that they want to take part of this or they want to become a lifelong ZYIA customer can be tied to you somehow. So I guess my point would be your opportunity for growth right now is so much more effective, or your opportunity for growth is so much faster than it would be joining a company that is 5 or 6 years old and already has reps everywhere, right? Like if you think of a network marketing company that you're aware of, like I love to death Rodan and Fields. I love their products. I use it. I think it's a phenomenal company. But I know probably on my street 3 or 4 people who are, I don't know, they don't call them reps. I'm not exactly sure what they call them, who sell Rodan and Fields. When I started ZYIA, people were like, I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of it. And I was like, perfect, bingo. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. So really, again, within the first 5 years is going to be where all that growth happens super, super fast, but especially in the beginning within the first 1 to 2 to 3 years. So for those of you who joined, congratulations. I know Brandy, and I think Shell is on here somewhere, can attest to the fact that it's a pretty fun ride in the beginning like this. So do you guys want to open it up for questions? That's pretty much the basic information of what it looks like. I also yesterday did a new rep call, and that's something that I can send you or your sponsor can send you. And those are going to be a few things of just getting the business off the ground and kind of understanding what are some tangible things you can do in the very beginning to get your business up and running, and share the business if you want to grow a team. We have so many different resources. I know Brandy has started a team page, but there's a lot of different resources. We have calls every single Monday night for 30 minutes. Ellie, who I was referencing before, who's actually holds the highest rank in the organization, she's phenomenal. She has a call. Her and I do a call every Thursday in the morning and Thursday afternoon. Again, I can send all this information out. There's company calls 1 time per month. And there's these just pages, these groups on Facebook that are full of resources. So for example, you're going to have people that reach out and say, hey, I'm a 36C. What size do I get in the All-Star bra? You can go to this group on Facebook and in the search bar, type 36C All-Star, and you're going to get all sorts of answers. So the resources are endless. And as a business owner, that's totally going to be up to you to kind of decide how much you want to take in, or what information you kind of jive with, what you don't. Just kind of funnel in what you think will be and won't be helpful. Plug in as much as you can in the beginning, because that's going to obviously be impactful. And then lean on one another to kind of run your business and get up and running. So that's what I have. I do, did somebody raise their hand? There's a button on here where you can like raise a hand actually for like a question. Does anybody have questions? Right? Oh, what's up?
Nothing. I think nothing. I'm good.
Were you just testing out the feature? Oh,
yeah.
The last thing that I do want to mention is enrollment. So again, I know some of you guys have enrolled, and there's people who are thinking about it. But let me just quickly make sure I have the math right. Okay, so the cost to enroll is $553. And with that, you get 5 pieces of our staple items. So you get 5 staple ZYIA active pieces in your size, which is great. When I started, it was all different sizes. So I had like double, I think I actually had like an extra small all-star bra, and I just had my son and I was nursing, and I was like, this is going to be like helpful for nobody in this house. But you can, it's customized to your size, so you enter your size. So with that $553 investment, you're getting the 5 staple items. You get a $280 gift card to go in and redeem on items you personally like. So they're not picking them out for you. You get business tools, so you're going to get some literature, some pamphlets. Some of that's just regular like business tools that you would put on a table at an event. You're going to get your personal shopping site, so you're going to get your own personal website. So if you want to make business cards, you could put it on there. When people want to shop from you, you just send them your personal site. And then you also get access to your back office. So the back office is a very clean, concise space where all of the numbers are going to be, all of the team information is going to be in there, your team numbers, that's all going to be in that back office. So that's what's included. When you redeem the $280 gift card, I would highly recommend that you go into your back office, reach out to your sponsor or myself, and we can help you do this. But you can actually create an event for yourself. So for example, when somebody wants to host an event for you, you can go into your back office, create an event just for them. It's going to show up on your website so that when people, when their people are shopping, they can click on that event. All of those orders go towards that hostess for their rewards. But you can have an event for yourself. So during your launch party, absolutely make sure that you set up an event for yourself called like ZYIA launch event. And then all the orders will funnel through there. So you're making commission as the rep, but you're also earning those rewards. The rep discounts 25%, which I should have mentioned. You do have a 25% discount as a rep. I don't use that very often because I always have an event open for myself, and I just wait to purchase things until I have the rewards. So at maximum, I'm paying only 50% for items. So for example, my neighbor the other day ordered a pair of joggers. When I have random orders like that that aren't associated with a party, I just funnel them all to one event. I'll call it like February online orders. And then I earn the rewards, and I redeem the rewards then because it's obviously better than using your 25% rep discount. So create an event for yourself. When you redeem that $280 gift card, you can place your order, redeem that under your event. So you're making commission on the $280 gift card that you redeem, plus that $280 is then going towards your rewards. So it's a win-win. So really the value is a lot more than $280 if you do it that way. There's a really neat video in the back office that explains exactly how to do it. I can tag you, or actually on our team page, I can tag you on that as well. But that's what it looks like to enroll. So if you guys aren't a rep and you're ready to do this, the person who invited you just has to send you their link, and you can go ahead, click join, enroll, and you are good to go, and you can get this rockin' and rollin' tomorrow if you wanted to already. Lori. Okay.
Is there a certain, or can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a certain amount of events for yourself that you could open a month?
Nope, it's unlimited.
Yeah.
So like
it's unlimited?
Yep. So let me pull up. I'll actually show you guys what the graphic looks like. And I can also, I think I can post it in here, but let me pull it up. Yeah, so like if it hits that first level of rewards and you want to open a new one, you can do that too. You do have to have 3 orders in order to close an event. So, for example, okay, this is kind of hard to see. You guys see that?
I think I have
Yep.
that.
Okay.
graphic.
So the first set of rewards is once the party hits $280 in sales, you get a $28 gift card basically, or credit, plus 2 items half off. Once it hits, I actually have to look at it. Once it hits $840 in sales, there's a $91 credit and 3 items half off. And once an event hits $1,400 in sales, you get a $210 ZYIA credit and 4 items half off. So again, this is what that looks like. I'll go ahead and post it. And I can send it to Brandy and Shala as well to post in the pages. So for example, if you want to close it right when it hits that 280, if you have three orders that hit that 280 and you're like, I want to close it, get the $28 credit and 2 items half off and start another one, you could do 10 a month if you wanted. So to answer your question, there's no limit.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you use those credits with the 50% off?
You can use, nope, so you have to do, the credits are in addition to
Okay.
third item. So you can't use the credit to pay for the half off items.
Yeah.
Really
Perfect.
great. Thank you for bringing that up.
So you have to have
I have
3
a
separate
question.
people. Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go, Lori.
Do you have to have 3 separate people placing the order? Like, I'm sorry, no. You just input 3 separate orders, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you
That
like,
equal 280.
huge order and you wanted it to hit rewards, you'd have to
Yeah.
pay 3 separate. So you pay the shipping 3 times. But it would
Okay.
probably be worth it
Right.
for the reward
Okay.
benefit. Yeah.
Right. So you have to input 3 separate orders into that event in order and pay shipping 3 times, even if it's getting shipped to your own home. Right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
3
Thank you.
separate individual orders placed. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And then Brandy, the gift cards, no, you do not have to. So the $280 gift card that you get in your enrollment, with your enrollment, you do not have to spend it once. The rewards, you do have to redeem it once, which at first I wasn't crazy about. But now that I'm constantly hosting parties, I really like it because there's not a bunch of outstanding stuff to do. So I just tell my hostess right up front, all of the rewards do have to be redeemed at one time. Some of my customers who order constantly, I give them like a little VIP treatment, and I have a link open for them all the time. And once they hit the reward level, we redeem it. And it doesn't have to be redeemed like the day the party closes. If they want to like wait a couple weeks, that's completely fine. They just have to redeem all the rewards at one time.
That's what my question was.
Yep.
Is that what yours was?
Yeah.
Okay. One more question, Leah. So our minimums that we have to hit the 200 personal sales volume.
Yep.
Is that Canadian or US dollars for us?
The 200, 600, and 1,000 are the same.
Okay.
The same for US and the same for Canadian. Yep.
Okay.
So those are the numbers you have to focus on: 200, 600, 1,000.
So on our Canadian website, just an FYI, at the bottom where it shows those numbers, it does say in US dollars. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me, I'll actually, thank you. I'll send Zach, so Zach, Erin and her husband, and then his brother, his name is Zach Bradley. You guys, he runs all of the team calls, or all of the company calls. Those are kind of the main faces, just so you know who Zach is, but I will text him and let him know that.
Cool.
There's also a Canadian number. There's also a customer service email specific for any reps in Canada. Let me pull that up for you guys and type it in the comments if you don't have it.
Also, can you run through what a return for an item would look like, whether it's a size exchange or something like that, of kind of the steps of what that looks like?
Yes. So there is, let me just pull this up really quick so I have this email for you guys. Okay, so there's a toll-free number, and here, let me send you this stuff right now. Okay, I just put it in the comments. But yes, so returns and exchanges are pretty simple. There is a video, again, that I can tag you guys in. You can share it on your team page, Brandy. You can just copy and paste it. It's a YouTube link. But if somebody gets like an all-star bra and it's not the right size, what you do is you go in your back office. There's a place where you can click place an order, returns and exchanges. You just look up their order number. It's going to show you everything that they ordered, and then it's going to give you an option for either exchange or return and the reason why. So I usually click exchange, wrong size, and then I type in the product with the correct size, click submit, and then the customer sends it back to the warehouse, and the warehouse sends out the new one. You do have to pay shipping to send the item back. The customer does have to cover that. That's something that's in the works currently, but as of right now, the customer does pay that. It's usually, here it's like $3 to send back. If it's a really good customer of mine, sometimes I just Venmo them $3 and cover it. And then the new product is sent out, and that doesn't have any shipping associated with it. But it's pretty simple. The first time is like, how do I do this? And it's kind of scary when somebody tells you they have to exchange or return, but once you do it a couple times, it's like riding a bike. So there's a really clean video that I can send to you.
I'll add it on the team time for sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
How about if they feel the product isn't really, it's pilling or something like that? Is there some sort of return policy, kind of like Lululemon has?
Yeah. 90 days.
Anything that is not right. So we have it's a 30-day, no question asked return or exchange policy. If something happens, I had a customer, I think since I started last year, I've had 2 cases where I did need to reach out to customer service. The first was, I think the tag in you guys haven't seen it yet. It's a mesh tank, so there's little perforations in it. The tag had just gotten snagged, and she like ripped it off accidentally, and her shirt ripped, so we sent out a new one. The last one, I did have a pair of leggings where the seam on the inside, the thread was sticking out like 1 inch, and she knew obviously that was going to continue. So I had her send me a picture. I sent it to customer service, and they, no questions asked, sent out a new one. So if it's a quality issue, typically you just need a picture from your customer, and customer service will send them out a new pair, no questions asked. So within, you know what, I'm actually going to pull the email out because I think this is a really important fact about our quality.
I thought it was a 90-day return. That's if you had a problem with the product, and 30 days if it was no wear.
You know what? I'm probably absolutely stumped on that. It probably is, which I'll confirm for you guys. If it's if it's a quality thing, it's at least 90 days, because there's been times where I've sent customer service emails from stuff that was bought like 6 months ago.
Okay.
Sorry, did you say the 30 days was no questions asked, unworn?
Yes, correct. Yep. And if it's a quality issue and they've been worn, that's fine. If it's just because they're like, I don't really like the pattern, I don't really like the color on these, if they've been worn and washed, then you can. So it's unworn if it's something like that.
If they didn't like it or whatever, okay. Yeah. Then they can return it and get their money back?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, refunded. Okay.
Okay, so actually Zach and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. The typical company in the apparel industry, so for like a Lulu, Nike, has a 4 to 5% tolerance for defects, but at ZYIA, we're currently below 2%, in most months right around 1, which is really
exciting. That's so exciting.
I really have no issues. I mean, sometimes you're gonna get like crotchety people who just like to complain. Like, I've had that probably once since I've started. And it's like,
I owned an apparel store, let's be honest.
Yes, yeah. And I'm like, whatever. You just deal with those people. But for the most part, quality has been, the majority of people get this and they're like, oh my gosh, like in the beginning, like I bought this pair of leggings just to support you, and now I'm addicted. And everybody I know is like ZYIA fanatic now.
Where is it made? Where's the factories?
There's a couple different ones. I know that we currently have one in Mexico. I would have to look at the other two, but what I can tell you for sure is all of the factories have been visited by our owners, and they're all held to like the strictest, most upstanding work environment. That's something that they're very, very, very intense on. So they also do random audits and checks. So like Zach flew to one of them a couple of weeks ago, and he just popped in and checked like quality and making sure that the processes, agreements of process and procedure were being followed. So
there's definitely not children working there or anything, obviously.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, no. Yeah. No. Yep. But that's a good question, because a lot of them,
well, people are going to ask, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I know
exactly.
when Lululemon initially was made in BC, it was made in Canada, and then they switched it and it was like over to Vietnam and other countries, and people were really not impressed with that. But they have obviously good labor issues and stuff. They're not employing children.
there was actually, funny you bring that up. So Aaron did go to one of the factories, and when they were first looking, and they had a couple of like actual finalist factories, and out of like, I don't know how many people were working there, but there was somebody who was like a couple days underneath what the actual child labor law was, and like they walked out like on the spot. They took away a pending contract. So they are really good about that. And I can get you that too. I can get you the exact countries where. I think we have 2 currently, but I will get you that.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else, guys? Anything else? I know, it's kind of like drinking out of at first. You're like, what the hell is going on? There's so much information.
I feel like I know Jerry and Lori somehow. How do I know these ladies? Do
I don't know.
Why do you guys look familiar? Where are they from?
Jerry, where are you from, girl?
I'm originally from Grand Prairie, but I live in Calgary now. And Lori's my sister, and she is originally from, well, same word. We grew up around Fairview, Alberta, and she lives in London, Ontario now.
Huh. You're not nurses or anything?
Pardon me?
Are you nurses?
No.
No. You guys look familiar. I don't know why. Well, you look alike, but I mean, I feel like I know you somehow. I live in Whitecourt, so I don't know.
Well, do you know what, Lori? My in-laws are in Whitecourt. My ex-in-laws, Pat and Brendolyn Day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, Madison that you see on here, I met traveling 2 years ago in Thailand, and we connected, and we found out that her cousin was Brendan Day, which I've known. Our parents were business partners, and we were in Thailand, and that was how we met.
You met
That's crazy.
in Thailand. So fun fact,
In Thailand.
your company trip is pending to be in Thailand.
That's amazing.
Wow, we're going brand.
Yeah, we are.
And weren't they just in Thailand on The Bachelor?
Yes.
Yes.
I like do not. And I was like, the other night, I was just, I don't know, doing something, and I flipped it on, and I was like, 50 minutes later, I was like totally enthralled with this TV show. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to watch it before I get sucked into this. And so that's another thing I'll bring up quickly. There's different ranks. And again, we can go through, we can have a call if you guys want on what it looks like to rank advance. But once you hit ZYIA Executive, there is an all-inclusive trip paid every single January for you and your spouse, friend, cousin, partner, whoever, but for you and one other person.
Goals.
Right?
It needs a beach holiday.
All right. Anything else, you guys? Hopefully that at least, is everybody on here? I think everybody, at least with their video on, is everybody on here a rep?
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully that equipped you.
I'm not.
No, Sam is. No.
Do you have any questions?
And
Not
Matt
yet.
is still on here.
I don't know. I guess I'm just hesitant because of the unknown, which I need to just get over.
The unknown is in like, what is it going to look like, or
I don't know. I think,
there's a lot of, I get it. There's a lot. There's so many questions.
yeah. I guess it's just meeting those. I mean, it's $15 if I don't get that. I don't know. Like when you started, say the first few months, how much were you bringing in?
Yeah, great question. I probably have to look back at my commissions tab, but I knew when I started, it was $3.95 to enroll. And one thing that I am like, again, a stickler on just because of my business background, is getting anybody who enrolls, at least on my first level, my main goal is to get their investment back in the first 30 days. Because I truly believe that running and respecting this like a business, even if it's a business that you do an hour a day or an hour every 2 days, like whatever it looks like for you, I just think it's important to respect it as a business. So my goal is always to get people's investment back in the first 30 days. So it's $1,500 US. Let me just see what. So anyways, to answer your question, I got my investment back in the first month. So I made just under $400. Where's my calculator? So that's $2,100 in sales in the first 30 days to get that investment back, to get your basically your enrollment costs back. Between your launch party and if you book some events in the first month or some pop-up shops, that's definitely very, very doable. So that's where I've started. It's gone up every month since then. Currently, I'm averaging anywhere between $23,000 and $3,000 a month. And I've really like just started, and that's in US dollars. So relative to what the exchange rate would be, it would be $4,200 in Canada. And I've really just started to be pretty steadfast with making this a business. So that's where I'm currently at.
Cool.
I'll raise my hand.
Good to know.
Yes, for sure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So do they figure for us, our stock here in Canada, do they say about mid-April we should be over 50% stock?
Yes. Yep. So every Wednesday, typically what's happening is a new release plus some inventory is being brought up there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, at first, there was some tough feedback from people who were like, well, why can't we have everything right away? And how come we don't have all the inventory? From a business perspective, it's really, really a smart move from a leadership and a business perspective not to do that, because we want to monitor the growth a little bit. And if we had all of our products in Whistler right now, the amount, just the footprint alone of what they'd be paying for like the warehouse, for shipping, for getting everything in there, for inventory management, control management, it just doesn't really grow correctly with how the business is growing in Canada. So I was thrilled when they announced that, again, because of my business background. I thought it was a super, super smart decision. But yes, by mid-April, they're looking to have at least 50% plus, which if you look on the US website is a lot. When I started, we didn't have a lot. It was kind of the same situation that you guys are in. So that's what we had to sell. And it's the staple pieces, right? So even if I have a new customer now, I still encourage them to get Black Pocket Light and Tights and All-Star Bra, our Copper Charge Tank, because those are all staple ZYIA pieces, and I think they're a really good place to start. And then over time, they purchase more. The other reason I like it that puts you guys at an advantage is you have the staple items now, right? So people don't know what they don't have yet. People don't know that they don't have a million products like there is in the US. So every Wednesday, like you're going to have, if you have a new customer now who purchases again, like the Black Pockets and the Bomber Bra, right? As things are being introduced, you're going to be able to continue to bring all of these new items to the marketplace kind of gradually and bring them back. So really to have repeat customers who in 6 months, when you guys get, like, for example, our florals, hold on, let me show them to you. At first I did not like them because I'm not a color person. But
Hi, Brandy.
Hey, Lauren. So good to see you.
It's you.
So these are pocket floral capris. They like flew off the shelf here when we first released them. So like in a couple, like whenever those release in Canada, you're gonna be able to say, hey, look what's here now. So you're gonna continue to have all these new innovative pieces showing up rather than all at once. Or these, which are a personal favorite.
I want those.
I know, black pocket camel.
Me too.
The camel.
Super cute.
Yes. So, yes, to answer your question, I'm sorry, it's so long-winded, but by April, they're looking to have at least 50%, and then still every Wednesday from now until then.
Yeah. Some items are like very limited on their sizing too.
The U.S. shopping link, is that only for people in the U.S.?
No.
You have
No. So people can shop, but then they'll have to pay duty and the shipping.
18% shipping. Yeah.
How much?
18%
Of duty
Wow.
and shipping?
18% shipping. Then you gotta convert it. Then you have to do however much it weighs. It's
approximately around like $80 additional. So it adds up really fast depending on, like, I've kind of done a few mock orders of what that would look like. And it averages around, between like 70 to $100 depending on your items. So it is quite significant. And Shell and I, we've both been kind of talking about how it's important to just kind of like really focus on what we have here in Canada. And then moving forward, it's going to keep it fresh. It gives us stuff to talk about every week. It, keeps people intrigued, and we can all get excited about the new releases on Wednesdays, because I think it's pretty important to do that. And I got my light and tight pants, and I am totally pumped. And I have curves for days and a booty, so pants are really hard to find. And I'm in love, so it's a good thing. And I've seen a ton of different fitness products and apparel out there, and I'm really impressed. So it's awesome.
Have you worked out them yet?
So I'm glad that you did the math on that, because people will ask about, what's it going to cost. So that's good that you checked it out and you kind of did some different scenarios.
And I mean,
because they're going to ask us.
Yeah, and they can go and they can do a mock order too, Lori, and just kind of see what that looks like for them. But it is like, it's significant. If it was like $30, I mean, sure, right? Every once in a while, but eventually we are probably going to get, am I right, Leah? Some of these items anyways. So
I guess for the friends that actually have like a second house or something down in Phoenix or wherever, like in the States, it'd be good for them, right?
Yeah.
Because they can get the stuff, but
Yeah, and shipping here is like $3.50 for like one or two pieces, and then $7.50 for anything above that. So it's really not bad.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
And for us here, it's like 12.
Shella, how long did it take you?
$12 here, isn't it? Canada
How
Post.
long did it take you to get your stuff, Shella?
Kind of seemed a little bit long, Halia.
Yours was
Brandy, you got yours quite quick.
Yeah, I ordered Monday night and mine showed up on Friday.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And Shella was part of, because so technically, guys, it's still a soft launch. So this is still a soft launch, which is even like more of a holy smokes, like big opportunity. But you had kind of started right after we launched in Canada, and those starter kits, just through like customs and stuff being in the warehouse, some of them took almost 2 weeks. But now they're back to the normal processing time, like how yours was, Brandy.
Yeah.
So how many reps are in Canada right now?
Under 1,000?
Under 1,000.
For sure under 1,000. I think it was 400 when you signed up on the 31st.
Go, Miss.
I had somebody sign up today and they were 881.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, does it go by our number?
I think so.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So my number was, for example, my number is 1790 in the US.
I think mine's 864 or something.
Yeah, because
770.
What are you?
What
Was I wrong? Is that your number, Brandy?
I think so.
Or maybe
No, I'm 846, I think. I'm just reversed.
I'll have to look.
And keep in mind too, as those numbers grow, like, so there, you know, there's always going to people who enroll and decide, whatever. So some of those people are inactive, and some people sign up purely for the discount. So keep that in mind too. Is out of the 800 and whatever there is right now, a percentage of them are going to be like true go-getters. Let's make this very significant. So,
and that's this team right here.
I like literally, like, when I see you guys, I'm like, every time I log into my back office, I'm like, is this for real? Like, is this for real? I keep telling you to, like, you two, well, I guess I only talk to Brandy and Shala right now, but I'm like, you guys have no idea. Like, you have no idea what's going to hit you. In a good way.
You need to move back, Brandy.
No.
I need you beside me.
I'm just a video chat away, guys. It's all good.
And that's another thing I would recommend for you guys. Again, we have our team calls on Monday. There's something really unique, though, about this specific group being in Canada. Keep in mind, you guys can recruit people from the States, too. I would recommend you do, if you can, just to get some variety in your business. But so I would maybe start a call. Like, find out a time that works for you guys.
You should.
And do like my team call, which again, I'll get you guys the information for. It's a half hour on Monday nights. And it's just a really like neat place. Sometimes we're talking business stuff. Sometimes we're talking like, we just did, for example, a director's boot camp. Sometimes we'll talk about best recruiting processes. Sometimes we'll talk about like personal development stuff. And they're always optional, but again, because you guys are Canada and you're kind of this unique group, you're going to experience things together. You guys are also the pioneers of a brand new company in your country. So there's going to be days where there might be hiccups, right? Like something's out of stock. Like that sucks a little bit, right? Because there's not that much stock there yet and we're out of a size. But I can assure you guys, I went through that stuff. You will never experience like the first launch like we had in the US. There was a point where when I first started, there was not one pair of leggings to sell. And I was like, what? Like, what do you guys want me to do? Like, I signed up to sell leggings. Like, what is this bananas? But what I can assure you is that if you're feeling those things, although it can be a short term, like, oh, like, shoot, we don't have that in their size. It's a really, really good sign for your business. Because it's in such like a massive growth phase. So I think it'd be a neat place for you guys to kind of get together.
Are we staying on here? I have to run downstairs and give Robin my ZYIA starter kit. She's going to sell it.
I actually have a 6:30 call that I'm a little bit late for. So do you guys have any other questions? Otherwise, if you guys want to stay here until Canada, feel free. I do have to hop off, but there is a ton of resources in our team page. Again, I know you guys have some team pages. Yeah. But if you need anything from me specifically, just let me know or shoot me a message.
Okay.
Sound good?
Thanks, Leah.
Sounds good.
Well, you guys run with it. Bye, guys. Let me just see if I can leave this meeting.
Okay, Shala, you can run down if you want. I'll stay on for a few minutes if anyone has any questions or wants to catch up, whatever.
Okay, I'll just leave this on then and I'll just come back.